Hello and thanks as always for listening. My name is Bryan, host of the Plant Podcast. The Plant is brought to you by ThinManager Software, the global leader in thin client management and mobility solutions. ThinManager is a Rockwell automation technology. In this episode of The Plant, I had a chance to talk with Thanh Phan and Will Worth from system integration company Quantum Solutions. Quantum Solutions is a ThinManager Platinum Integrator partner and was recently featured with a story on the ThinManager blog. We discussed some of their experiences integrating ThinManager into modern production facilities and their thoughts on the product. Hello and welcome to The Plant. I'm your host, Bryan Harned, and joining me today is Thanh Phan and Will Worth from system integration company Quantum Solutions. Quantum has been providing custom control systems automation for over 20 years in North America. Thanks for joining me today, guys. All right, so before we get started, tell us a little history on yourselves and how long you've been doing integration work and with Quantum.
Sure. My history from Chicago. Now I live in St. Louis. Been in the industry about 15 years. Been with Quantum for about 10. Quantum's been around 20 years total, a little bit over. We started in a small, garage story, and now we currently have over 20 employees in 3 major cities: Chicago, Dallas, St. Louis. Really cut our teeth and started as a process controls group, and like so many others, we've evolved into other areas: packaging, machine safety, networking, industrial IT, multiple industries. Really having to grow with the times. But we really got a talented group of like-minded engineers who enjoy what we do. We love solving problems and preventing them. And just pretty proud of this team, man.
That's very cool. You guys are kind of from my neck of the woods. I actually grew up around Chicago in the Arlington Heights area, and my dad lives in Dallas. So those are kind of my stomping grounds as well.
Yeah, man, my hometown's Rolling Meadows, right there.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I was in Arlington Heights. And so right next door, actually, my brother went to Rolling Meadows High School.
That's where I went. That is interesting. We may have to follow up with that.
Yeah, we may have to talk about that a little bit offline. So, Thanh, how about you? How long have you been doing integration work with Quantum?
Yeah, so I've been doing integration work with Quantum since I graduated college. Got a background in electrical and computer engineering. The thing that probably brought me to this career field is the fact that I enjoy tinkering with computers, and I'm all about automation. So
very cool, and you get to work with a lot of really cool projects. So that always helps too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's kind of jump into it, and guys, and specifically, we're talking about ThinManager, obviously, but as it pertains to the projects and installs you guys have done, the piece written on the ThinManager blog detailed a project for a major food and beverage company. Can you guys tell us a little bit about the size and scope of the project and how ThinManager was determined to be the right fit for that job?
Definitely. As you said, big food manufacturer. It was a greenfield plant replacing a previous plant. We've done a few of those with ThinManager, so we were pretty well equipped to help out. I've been doing ThinManager for about 5 years, and it really benefits them, our end users, especially in the large scale rollouts. Is 50 thin clients, give or take, and it's just much easier for our clients to be able to remotely view and manage through ThinManager. Kind of bring some simplicity to an otherwise maybe complicated situation with the clients and the servers and the terminal servers. RDPing in and out, and also bring some security consistency for them. So there's definitely a cost benefit in configuration and setup for our end users. And then again, maintaining and managing remotely was a pretty big deal for them. I didn't really talk too much about the actual application, but as a distributed client server HMI setup, the customer worked with Rockwell to deploy their converged plant-wide Ethernet setup, and we kind of came in with the HMI and the ThinManager part, and it just really the smart choice to choose to avoid the time and expenses to maintain the PCs, and so they went to thin clients. And kind of what I mentioned out of turn there is that ThinManager application platform is really that supplemental tool that really goes a long way for our customers and simplifies things for them. And the features are just never ending.
Well, awesome. Yeah. One of the things you mentioned was being able to remote in. A lot of the integrators I talk to, the ability to remote in to adjust stuff and fix stuff and I guess fix something in one place and centrally push it out is really, a huge time saver and a huge benefit for them.
Oh yeah, versus having to maintain multiple applications throughout the plant, and even if it was PCs, maintain the PCs themselves. Completely agree. They
Yeah, I was gonna say in a former life, I used to have to, image PCs and wipe them and get them back up to speed and it's just such a process. And I'm happy that I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
really
it's so
is.
time consuming.
It is, and when they take that step to go away from the PCs and to the thin clients, the ThinManager platform just makes so much sense as the next step again for the user. I mean, they don't have even if they want to remote in from anywhere, a couple clicks of the button and you're good.
Yeah, we've had some, lately too, taking their old, fat PCs and pulling the hard drives and using WinTMC to go ahead and make them into thin clients, just basically waiting for them to fail so they can start replacing them too, which is kind of a cool way to get into it.
You bet.
Moving on, when deploying ThinManager in a production facility, what are some of the major, I mean, we talked about a little bit, the time savers and features, but I mean, is there any that you can name that kind of greatly aid you in the process of deploying?
Yeah. So as far as like bringing up these thin clients, it's the fact that ThinManager has this like configuration wizard that it essentially steps you through, so you don't really miss any sort of configurations that might be necessary, and it just allows you to, for instance, for the facility that we worked at, having the ability to step through that configuration wizard and to add a USB touchscreen ability without having to download additional software and go through the hassles of configuring each one individually and installing the software on each thin client. But yeah, it's just nice to be able to have everything managed from one location, and then you can view everything from one location.
Yeah, it's funny. One of the biggest things everybody talks about that's like the very first feature of ThinManager is just how quickly you can replace a thin client. Yeah. And with the configuration, you can have it mirror either the one you're replacing or even another one within the facility. And just, I think we always say under 2 minutes, that it takes longer to get it out of the box than it does to actually install it. Well, okay. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is a little bit about safety and security. There's always important aspects of any deployment that go along with safety and security, along with the ease of customized configuration. And according to your article, ThinManager kind of hit all those points, and you've already talked about it a little bit. But I guess I would like to know if you plan to, continue to use ThinManager for future projects, and why you might choose it over a different solution.
Yeah, we definitely plan. Not only do we plan on using ThinManager moving forward, but even at this exact facility we're talking about, we're getting ready to upgrade the HMI software and the ThinManager software to the latest version so that we can use the brand new pass-through authentication with RFID badge scanners to make their user access, all linked to Active Directory, all to make their user access even more secure and easy to deal with a single point of management. So we absolutely will continue to be using it, and even in the same facilities. And again, back to the having so many features until we use another feature in the same facility. So it's just kind of endless. And once the customer starts to see how useful and advantageous it is, they kind of get addicted to it, and you keep going back.
Yeah, whenever we demo the product, especially with the mobility portion and shadowing are the ones that usually make people kind of, it's that aha moment. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh wow, I want to use that.
Yes, absolutely.
Is the customer we've been talking about, are they using mobility within the production facility?
Not this particular one, but
Okay.
it's something that we've been talking about. So I really feel like that's going to happen very shortly. And even some of the relevant stuff with being able to have location-based, content for them is another thing that we really like, and we know our end users like as well. So we're always moving towards that mobility. It's where everything's going.
Yeah, I was going to say that, one of the things they're working in the back room right now is the facial recognition and using Face ID off the newer iOS devices and stuff like that. That seems pretty cool. Guys, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I want to let everybody know, if you want to find out more information about Quantum Solutions, visit their website, qsicontrols.com. As always, for more information on ThinManager, visit thinmanager.com. I'm your host, Bryan Harned, and we'll talk to you next time on The Plan.